The moment Arthur pulled the legendary sword from the stone, everything changed. The crowd stood in complete silence. No one could believe that a simple young man had succeeded where every powerful knight had failed. Sir Ector looked at Arthur with tears in his eyes. For years, he had raised the boy as his own son. But now, he realized that Arthur's destiny was far greater than anyone had imagined. Arthur himself was confused. He had never dreamed of becoming a king. He had never asked for a crown. He had only wanted to help his foster brother. But not everyone accepted the miracle. Some powerful nobles refused to believe that Arthur was truly chosen by destiny. They believed a king should come from a powerful family, not from an unknown village boy. The nobles gathered in the great hall. They argued, they questioned the sword, and they questioned Arthur. Could someone so young truly lead an entire kingdom? Arthur stood quietly as the powerful men debated his future. He had no army, he had no crown, and he had no experience ruling a kingdom. But he had something no one else possessed. He had been chosen by the legendary sword. And deep inside, Arthur began to understand that destiny had brought him to this moment for a reason. Outside the castle, thousands of people waited. They had come to see the boy who had pulled the sword from the stone. And slowly, the people began to believe. One voice shouted Arthur's name, then another. Soon, the entire crowd was cheering. Arthur! 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 For the first time, Arthur stood before the throne of Britain. But he did not feel like a king. He felt like an ordinary young man standing before a responsibility far greater than himself. That night, Arthur could not sleep. He thought about the people, the kingdom, and the crown that destiny had placed before him. From the castle window, Arthur looked across the kingdom. He knew that Britain was not peaceful. Enemies waited beyond its borders, and powerful men inside the kingdom were already watching him. And far away, someone else had already heard the news. The new king had been revealed, and not everyone was happy about it. In the shadows, a dangerous enemy began to make a plan. For years, powerful forces had waited for a moment of weakness. Now, they believed Britain had found one. Arthur knew that being chosen was not enough. A true king had to learn. He had to fight. And most importantly, he had to protect his people. Day after day, Arthur trained. He fell, he failed. But every time he stood up again, because the kingdom needed more than a king with a magical sword. It needed a leader, a protector, and a king who would never abandon his people. Slowly, Arthur began to become that king. But while Arthur prepared to lead, a powerful army was already moving toward Britain. The kingdom had barely found its king. And now, war was coming. Arthur stood on the castle walls and saw the enemy approaching. For the first time, he understood the true meaning of the crown. Being king did not mean sitting on a throne. It meant standing between danger and the people you loved. Arthur raised Excalibur towards the sky. Behind him stood the people of Britain. Before him stood an army. The legend had begun. But the first great battle was about to begin. Subscribe my channel for watch next episode.